about the Hawaii response, Mr. President?
I would like to express my sympathy and warmest regards to the people of Hawaii, and specifically all of those who have been so gravely and irreparably hurt by the tragedy of the wildfires in Maui, something the likes of which have seldom been seen anywhere at any time. The death caused by this catastrophic event will be far worse than ever expected now that houses and cars in other areas are being inspected. The sad thing is, it should never have happened. Our government was not prepared, and very importantly, the aftermath is going very poorly, with the governor of the island wanting to do nothing but blame it on global warming and other things that just happened to pop into his head.
This video is brought to you by Save the Storks, brought to you by SaveTheStorks.org. Ladies and gentlemen, my favorite pro-life organization. I was the keynote speaker this year at their major event. What an incredible organization. But I want to tell you about one thing, maybe two things. The first thing is the medical mobile unit that they travel with. It's like an RV with medical equipment in it. And they pull it right up in front of Planned Parenthood or places where young women are going to travel and have an opportunity to see that there's an opportunity to opt out of going to Planned Parenthood. They get into the Stork bus. They're able to take an ultrasound for free, and 3 out of 4 women that go in there decide to give life. And that's one of the major things that Save the Storks is doing, and that's why I'm a partner with Save the Storks. I want you to join me in giving every month. I give every month, and I give once at the end of the year. $34 or $32 is enough to secure or protect one woman. So you can give as God has purposed in your heart, but be a member today. Link is in the description section. You can join. Just join up. Do $35 a month. My family do $100 a month because we really care and we put our money where our mouth is at. Save the Storks. Link is in the description section. Like, subscribe to the channel. Y'all know what to do. Let's get into this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say this real quick. I have to say something about Hawaii. You know, the country, God is my witness. We should be ashamed of ourselves as a country because we have the nerve to be sending money to Ukraine. And think about this for a minute, because I'm about to get hot. Think about this for a minute. So we had a catastrophic fire, people know, in Hawaii, in the Maui County, I think is the name of the county. And at this point, I mean, it looked like Armageddon when you look at the pictures. At this point, they got about 100 people that they found dead, deceased, burned alive, whatever you want to call it. These people are no longer with us. It was a catastrophic event. And we are sending billions of dollars to Ukraine to help them fight a war we ain't got no business helping them fight. And I would argue the reason we're doing it because it's a conflict of interest with Joe Biden and Ukraine, right? They got dirt on him. They got him by the you-know-what. And as soon as he quit giving that money, they're going to tell all of his dirty secrets. I guarantee you that's why we're doing it. We're giving them ungodly amounts of money and resources. Ungodly. And then they had I guess they did a P&L on the stuff that, it's not necessarily a P&L, but they did an evaluation on the stuff that they sent them, and they underrepresented how much they sent them. The valuation of what they sent them was like tens of millions of dollars off. Oh, yeah, of course it was. Yeah, people with a degree don't know how to count money. Ukraine is a waste of our time. We have no business interfering in that. And if you ask me, I think we are the culprits in the initiation of anything that has happened over there. I would, after all the things that I've heard, it seems that as if Putin is doing what any person that runs a country would be doing to defend his people. And that America and others are infringing and violating promises. These are the things that I've heard. Now, beyond that, America is either completely stupid and complicit in a bribery scheme, in an extortion scheme that's going on through Ukraine involving Joe Biden, or we are the most brilliant military country in all of world history. Let me tell you why I say that. Are we leveraging Ukraine with everybody who's has this false sense of empathy and they fake people that don't know nothing, don't even know how to find Ukraine on the map, and they got little Ukraine flags in their bio. Ain't never did nothing for Ukraine. Then now they got stuff in their bio. We support Ukraine. They don't even listen. All right. Or are we leveraging the stupidity of people to try to find a way to get money and resources across the world to another hemisphere? So we have the systems in place, we have the cost in place, we have the mechanism to send arms and also military equipment in case we need to deal with a Russia, in case we need to deal with something in Taiwan. We can move stuff to the region. We already have practice. We already have our effort and energy where when all this is said and done, somebody try something, we already know the path of success for us militarily. Could we be doing that? Maybe. I'm hoping that we could do that. $700 one-time payment for displaced residents is what people are getting in that particular area. You know, I just don't like stuff like that, man. I don't like the fact that I feel like we're squandering our money. I think Trump would have never given money like this to Ukraine. We would never be in this conflict. We would have never given this much money to Ukraine. I feel like Trump would have been ready, prepared to put money in the pockets of people in Hawaii that needs it, that's struggling from it was not a natural disaster, but it was allegedly, it was some Hawaii power lines that were down or some kind of faulty electrical structure that created the fire. Then the winds picked up and it just blew that fire all over this particular area in Hawaii. And so, I mean, our thoughts and prayers go out to the family and all these people that died, man. It's crazy. I think they found at least 100 people. There's probably a lot more people that have probably perished in this particular fire. And it's a very sad day, right in our home turf. And we should have plenty of money to provide resources and rebuilding and all the things that's going to need to happen there in Hawaii.
I think right now we just need the prayers and, you know, we need the money to rebuild our town. This is going to be a long road ahead of us. And we're just trying to fundraise and make sure that the displaced families can go back home one day. There's a lot of real estate speculation happening right now that is really frustrating. And I just want to remind all you real estate investors around the world, like Lahaina is not for sale. Please don't reach out to these families and take advantage of them during the most devastating time of our lives.
You know, we just heard from our reporter and from a couple of women who say that they were upset about what tourists were doing. Now you're telling me that there are real estate investors reaching out to people about their property. What's going on exactly?
Yes, homeowners have been reached out by investors and realtors offering to buy their land. And this is disgusting. And we just want to make sure that people around the world understand our situation and know that Lahaina is not for sale. It is important that the multi-generational families that come from Lahaina get to continue to live in our hometown.
Let me go back to Hawaii because I feel like I didn't do it to due diligence. Let me read from this article because there's a lot of controversy around this. It's not just as simple as there's a fire and people died and the government need to get involved. And let me just read a couple things because one of the articles that I saw earlier from Fox News said explosive allegations unleashed amid finger pointing for the deadliest Hawaiian wildfire ever. It says here, a Hawaiian couple is suing 4 power companies, accusing them of ignoring weather warnings amid the historic Maui wildfire that killed at least 93 people. The main plaintiff, Monica and Reedy Eder, own a house in a historic town which was decimated by the wildfire. Their suit is on behalf of a class action subclasses of all persons similarly situated. And let's see, the suit targets Hawaii Electric Industry, which is the parent company of HECO, MECO, and HELCO. Now, I don't know what none of that means, but if you live in Hawaii, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The lawsuit accused the power companies of ignoring weather warnings and keeping their power lines energized despite the dangerous conditions. The plaintiff claimed that the companies inexcusably kept their power lines energized during forecast high fire danger conditions. So I think that with my poor reading, you can still understand that what's going on here. Government stupidity. if they were in fact warned and they did not heed to the warning, people need to be held accountable, right? If this is preventable, people need to be held accountable. It's really that simple. The person that's in charge, it's funny because government agencies can do things that are not right and cause people to die, lose their livelihood and everything. And they just like, oh, oops, sorry about that. I'm sorry that even happened. I'm sorry for your loss. That's all they can say. But what happened with the incompetence in this particular electric company that caused them to not take heed to weather warnings that then led to the devastating deaths of at least 90 plus people. I say about 100 because I think it's well over 100. They just have to be able to identify people to count them as a death. So it's to me, people need to be held accountable. Do I think that people were acting not in good faith? I don't know. But if there were warnings and there was a weather advisory and the power lines were not energized and there was a way to do it peacefully and without too much damage or conflict, they should have adhered to that. And if they didn't, they should be held accountable.